Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone, whoever has joined. I, Shrutirtha, is a customer success engineer here at Septis. And today I will take you through on the XfilesPro comprehensive file management solution for Salesforce, with which you can manage your files in your external storage. So along with me, I have our Associate Vice President, Mr. Rakesh, who heads our product sales branch. So today we are going to talk about the functionalities of XfilesPro, how it helps you to manage your files in external storage and also gives you a great ROI on terms of saving files. All right. So keeping the housekeeping activities aligned. So what we'll have is we'll talk about our presentation today, and this will be our learning objectives. And post that, we'll have 5 minutes Q&A session post the discussion. So today, what we'll be doing is on our learning objectives, we have XfilesPro, which is your Salesforce file management enabler, which helps you to manage your Salesforce files in external storages. And then we'll continue on the features of XfilesPro, some of the basic features which covers the storage management, and then on the advanced features of how XfilesPro can help you utilize the functionalities and features to manage the folder structure, to manage the export, and also help you in migration of your existing files. So today we'll be talking about how Salesforce has reimagined the file management success of more than 300 customers worldwide. And we'll also discuss some of our use cases of customers who are already using XfilesPro for the last few years, and we'll continue with a quick demo of the solution. So when we talk about XfilesPro as a file management enabler, we actually support external storage because Salesforce file storage is pretty costly. And people also do not get much freedom and flexibility on using or managing the documents or on collaborating on the files. So we with XfilesPro actually support cloud storage systems like SharePoint, AWS S3, Google Drive, OneDrive, and also on-premise solutions like Network Drive, SFTP, and SMB. And today we'll be talking about how advanced capabilities of Salesforce with XfilesPro can help you manage Salesforce community files, through which you can upload and view files for the community users, though the files are residing in your external storage. You can archive existing files which are not more actively used and reduce your file storage, and also use the file storage as a centralized file management system so that every user can have a single source of truth, that is your external storage, as the Salesforce file storage. You can also structure the files and the folders in your external storage in an automated way. And this application of ours, XfilesPro, is built for Salesforce, and it supports most of the clouds that Salesforce has in offer, like Service Cloud, Pardot, and we also support any custom solutions that are built on top of Salesforce. And another good functionality of XfilesPro is it is also supported in Salesforce One, which is the mobile app of application of Salesforce. So if any user is having field service lightning where they use the mobile app to upload or view the files, they can also leverage XfilesPro as a solution. And when you're talking about this file solution, what we have seen is people get 80 to 90% on file storage cost savings of Salesforce while using XfilesPro, and it's very easy to set up. Even a layman can use the user guide and quickly set it up, and they can customize it as per their wish on the folder structure, on the conventions, and on the operations. So I'll be talking about
Sudhirda, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Okay. So let me take it up from here. Okay. Yeah. Sorry for that inconvenience. So Yeah, okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so in terms of numbers, so why you need to choose XfilesPro, right? So which I want to justify by giving you the numbers, right? So we have been in App Exchange from 8+ years, and which talks volumes about the capabilities of our product. So because this has been approved by 400+ users, and within that, so we have 20+ Fortune 500 clients, so who are using XfilesPro, right? And in these last 8 years, we have 30+ releases, which talks volume about the product improvement which we have done over a period of time, right? So a lot of use cases which we have covered. So most of the use cases which you are thinking of, so which is already covered, right? So that is the capability of the product in terms of features and functionalities and everything else which you are looking at, right? So if you want to talk about the volume, so 200 million+ files are uploaded using our application, and so we have 500+, 500K+ users so who are using our application from 15 different industries, right? So and if you go through our App Exchange, so you will see 50+ reviews, and all of them are 5-star reviews. So I'm sure, so with these numbers, you should be confident enough to try XfilesPro as one of your trusted solution provider, right? So let's move on to the next one. Yeah, you need to move to the next slide. Yeah, so as Sutita was talking about, so we have divided this session into two parts. One is we want to talk about the basic storage management solution, which is provided by XfilesPro. So this is one of the use case which a lot of customers who come to us are looking for, which is basic in terms of reducing the file storage and the advanced capabilities of our application. So we'll talk about the advanced. So let's move to the basic use case, what the customers are looking at in terms of next. Yeah, so if you look at it in terms of the capabilities of our application, so the basic applications is moving the file from Salesforce to your external storage, whether it could be your cloud storage provider or on-prem storages like AWS, SharePoint, OneDrive, Google Drive. So any of the cloud service provider, cloud storage provider, or you might have your own on-prem storages. So we can support both, right? So what happens is, so when in the basic use case, people are looking at reducing the file storage. So they might have exceeded the limit of 100% storage capacity which they have. So and then they want to reduce it. So all of them understand that. So adding additional storage is not a sustainable model. So what is the option? So that is where people are looking at a solution like XfilesPro so to manage their storage, right? So with that, you get 85% plus direct ROI in cost saving. So I'm not talking about the ROI benefits of other benefits of the solution. I'm just talking about the direct cost benefit, right? And so by this, so as I told you, so you never have to worry about the storage again. So the file storage again, because XfilesPro makes your Salesforce storage unlimited, right? And as we are talking about it, so you can go live within a fraction of days. So maybe on an average, 1 week is something which we are looking at from your application going live, right? So and this makes the entire solution go to market very fast, and it gives you a very good ROI and immediate ROI, right? And it is very easy to set up. So and that is how so the XfilesPro is designed, so which will help your users with enhanced capabilities of managing the files, right? So next. Yeah, so when we talk about the advanced file storage capabilities, so advanced use cases which we have categorized it as. So lot of customers who come to us will be using the application from a very long time. So they might be buying additional storage every time they hit the limit of 100% of file storage capacity. So and they realized at the later date that okay, so this is not a sustainable model because they are investing huge on file storage. So what is the option? So they might have in terms of file storage, they might have in TBs, right? So 5 TB, 10 TB files which are lying there. So and they cannot keep on adding it. So that is where our export utility tool comes into play. So this what the tool will do is, so it will in a fraction of a few months, so a few weeks, so it will move all the files from your storage to the external storage. It is as easy as it is. So you will see it happening live in the due course of this demo. So where we are going to talk about how our customer was successfully able to move a large amount of files in a fraction of weeks, right? So that is one of the use case where we are looking at advanced capability of file migration. So using our export utility tool. So second use case which we are looking at today is on the folder management, right? So some of the customers who come to us say that so we are not able to manage the files properly within the Salesforce. So then what is the solution for it? Okay, so as you know, so the files are scattered in Salesforce. There's no one place where you can find the files. So and then it is not organized. So somebody who doesn't use Salesforce and wants to look at the files, so there's a tedious process. He has to go to the record and find out which opportunity under that. So then go to a particular record and then see the files. So which is a cumbersome task. So how are we going to manage this? So XfilesPro offers a feature to manage files in a proper folder structure. So whatever may be the complex folder structure depending on your business, so we support that. So using formula fields, so you can create any different kind of files depending on your use case. So we should be able to help you, right? Any complex folder structure. So which we will show you in some time. And third use case which we are going to talk about is file sync feature. So when we talk about file sync feature, so maybe some of the companies are using some other platform and they want to move to Salesforce, or they have a legacy system and they want to move to Salesforce. So then they bring data and files along with that. So how are you going to sync those files which are externally stored with Salesforce? So that is where if you keep all the files in a proper folder structure in any of your external storage, so using our folder sync feature, so you should be able to quickly sync all the files to a proper record within Salesforce. And for your users, so there is no difference. So they find the files wherever it was available earlier also. So they don't have to search anywhere else, right? So these are the three things which we're going to focus today. And Sutirtha will run you through a couple of use cases and also take you through the live demonstration of the product itself. So you will see these features working live with our application now, right? So over to you, Sutirtha.
Hey, thanks Rakesh for the insightful discussion on XfilesPro, and I welcome you everyone again. I will quickly take you through our customer story of a healthcare service provider who happens to be one of the Fortune 500 companies from the US. So in their case, what the challenge they had with the files is one of the third-party application which was built on Salesforce was generating a lot of files. And these files that are getting generated were of around 2.5 TB already. And this was consuming the Salesforce file storage. Now the challenge was this was actually costing a lot on the Salesforce file storage cost, and most of these files were redundant. So basically emails and case files which they do not actively use. So they required a solution to archive it because they cannot delete it due to compliance reason. So they can move those files out of Salesforce, but they need to keep it somewhere so that if required, they can come back to those. So that is where our solution XfilesPro came into place, and it helped them in archiving the files on a periodic basis. And they used a file archiving to SharePoint as the external storage, and they used a condition. So they exported files of those records. So any record which is closed, means case record which is closed and the case is older than 3 months, only those files of those records only got exported to SharePoint. So though these files are exported to SharePoint, which they won't use actively, but they can still see those files right inside Salesforce in a blink. And this actually had a huge impact. So when you consider 2.5 TB of existing file storage, which has a huge cost from the Salesforce end, and they archived these files and they got a ROI of 85% on the Salesforce file storage cost. So I will take you to the next customer story that we have. So in this case, the use case was just the opposite. So in their use case, the files were not generated in Salesforce, but this financial industry leader from Europe, they had files created from an external ERP system, and that external ERP system used to deposit those files in their AWS S3 bucket. Now, their Salesforce users required those files to be accessed from Salesforce. So that was a huge challenge, and they wanted a seamless automation for that. So that is where again XfilesPro pitched in, and they used our folder sync feature that Rakesh talked about, where any folder getting created and has a connection with the Salesforce record based on the formula structure that we define, it can automatically sync those files with the Salesforce record. So the benefit the customer got is huge. It reduced their time spent on going to the external storage and search for the files. And all the three apps, the ERP, the AWS S3 bucket, and Salesforce were all connected, and they had a single source of truth as S3 bucket for the centralized file management system. So next, what I will do is I will quickly take you all through a quick demo of the solution for a live understanding on how it works on the Salesforce end. So here you see this application has been installed from App Exchange. So XfilesPro passes all the security reviews that Salesforce has. It's pretty secure app. And once you install the application in your sandbox or in production, so you get the option to connect the storage setup. So here you see we support Amazon S3, Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, SharePoint for the external storage. And we have already connected SharePoint here against one of our site, and we also support multiple sites of SharePoint and any type of object, whether standard or custom object. So all this being configured, you see here we will upload a file to an existing record. So here let me use the first record here. So you see what we do is we use our component in place of notes and attachment, but for the end user the experience remains the same. You see there is no difference between the notes and attachment and our component of XfilesPro. So here they can drag and drop files or just pull files just like this, multiple files at once, and they can upload. And what happens real easily is all these files upload in a blink, and what you get to see here is the link of the file. The physical files are moved to your external storage, and here what you see is a link of the file. That is how we keep check on the storage of Salesforce. And if I click here, for the end user there is no difference. They can rightly see the file right from Salesforce, and they can also go to your external storage just like this. And what we offer is a bidirectional movement of files also. So if someone comes here and uploads the file just like this automatically syncs back. So even non-Salesforce users like finance and other teams, if as such use case defines, they can also sync their files from SharePoint to Salesforce this easily. And we also give you a freedom on giving the folder naming convention as per your requirement. So here we use the record field, and it can be a combination of multiple record fields that the Salesforce formula supports. So it can be any parent-child structure in between two objects, like you think of account and opportunity, and all those can be customized according to your requirement through the Salesforce formula fields. So this concludes our standard use case. And right now, what I will show you is the use case that we covered in the first customer story, that is the export. So here, if I show you certain files which are already existing, right, in Salesforce can be easily exported. So if I show you here, you see in notes and attachment, these two files is sitting, but there are no files in our external storage. So using our export feature, where you give the provider and the object and the filter criteria, which offers any SQL query, you can easily export. So whatever I am showing you now is a manual process, and this entire process can be easily customized for to run in background on a scheduler basis. So all these files will automatically move from your notes and attachment, that is your Salesforce file storage, to our external storage and automatically create the folder that you desire, right? This is the export tool that we talked about. And the last use case that I want to talk about is our folder syncing. So if I show you here, you see this is one of the file record that is existing in Salesforce, and none of the files are existing. So suppose you are moving from a different CRM or a legacy system to Salesforce, but migration is a huge challenge. Who will connect the existing files and folders to the new system? Here, XfilesPro has a very seamless process and very easy process. If you just follow the folder syncing feature and abide by those laws, it can easily connect your folders just like this. So I will just drop these two folders here inside my correct location. So test4 has subfolders and files in it. So if I go and show you the record test4 now, it will automatically connect to my Salesforce record. So I will just go to test4. So you see there is no files here. And let me go to test4 real quick. Just a moment. You see the files and folders are automatically synced in this records. So let me open up, since we dropped two folders, let me open up the other record and that we can show you. And you see the folder and the files automatically came up. So this is so seamless and so easy process for anyone to migrate. So it takes out your headache of the migration. So yeah, over to you, Rakesh, for the next steps.
Right. So yeah, thanks Aditya for a wonderful demo. So I'm sure you got a lot of insights about the capabilities of XfilesPro, and this is not the limit, right? So this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are a lot to explore with XfilesPro. So like you see here, so these are all the features which we have. So we can discuss in detail. We can connect offline. So if you have any queries on these things, so we would love to connect with you and explore more on what are your use case and see how XfilesPro can fit your use case, right? So yeah, so let's take up few questions which are already there. So we're going to yeah. So I see few questions already. So okay, yeah. So I have first question. Do we have to pay additional charges for the advanced features? Okay. So the question is, so they're asking about the basic and advanced features, right? So I would say yes and no. So some of the features which comes as a utility is charged additionally to the standard licenses. So that we can discuss. So we are open. So we always look at the ROI to the customer and then help them with the best pricing possible, right? So we will reach out to you and then we can discuss further on this. right? So the second question which I have here is, okay, so we are from a media industry. How do we handle large size files during the initial migration? Okay, so Sudhirta, I would like to take you
Yeah.
and answer this.
If we have the export utility tool for AWS S3, so if for using AWS S3, we can use Lambda service to export large size files also.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for the quick answer. Okay, the next question what I have is, can we migrate files in a periodic basis against some criteria or field changes? Okay, so let me put it in a different way. So they're asking about, can we migrate files on the basis of different filter criteria, like, so they want to keep the files maybe 3 months, 6 months, and then once there's a trigger that the file has completed 6 months, and then they want to move. So on the basis of timeline. So Sudhita, would you like to take it up?
Correct. So if you just quickly recall, I talked about one of the customer case where they only moved files when a case is closed and the case is older than 30 days, right? It's 3 months. So that is again based on a field value. So in your case, if you can capture the field value, and against that we can write the query and export that. So the scheduler will run, and whenever that query is met, it will export those files.
Okay, great, fantastic. Now the next question which I have is, does XfilesPro support FSL app? So field service lightning app. So Sudhita, can you answer this?
You can use our component to upload files and see files and even download files in the FSL app, and also the Salesforce mobile.
Okay. Okay. I have one more question on how does it charge? Okay, so charge in the sense I'm looking at the cost, I think. So yeah, so they're asking about the pricing. Yeah, so this is priced on the basis of user, and we have different pricing structure for standard users and community users, right? So standard users will be charged on the basis of again number of users, and we also have if you have large volume of users, so then we also give you org-wide licenses. So that is something which we can work. As I told you earlier, so we always look at customers ROI. So how much ROI customer is getting. So you don't have to worry about the pricing. So we are open in terms of how it is charged. And so basically, so as I told you, it is on the basis of number of users, and there's a different pricing for community as well as standard users. Community users, as you know, so will be costing you less. So we are at the top of the hour. So, and we have few more questions, which unfortunately we will get back to you and we'll answer you or an email. So one of them is asking, so will we get the recording of this webinar? Yes, definitely. So we will send you the recording of this webinar. And you can definitely showcase, and probably if you want a one-on-one demo, and if you have any specific use case which you want to look at it, definitely we can connect and give a quick demo for your use case as well. So thanks for asking us those questions and being a wonderful audience as well. So I'm sorry, so there was little hiccups in terms of the technology not supporting us today. So it was very unkind to us at the start of the webinar. So I'm sure some of we managed, and I really appreciate you being through this session. And anything you have, any questions you have, so please do reach out to us at sales@xfilespro.com. So we are happy to help you. And other questions which are still pending, which we are not able to take up now, so we are going to come back to you. So Sharath, Meghan, we will definitely, others are also there, so I can see a few of them are there. So Sandeep, Mark, so we will come back to you with the answers quickly, right? So thank you for being such a lovely audience. Thank you for joining this webinar. I'm sure so this was helpful to you all, and we will look forward to hear from you, and we will definitely get in touch, and we will take it forward from here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sudhir.
Hey, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rakesh.